Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. We are good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. This is Pamela, and we are waiting for the trial to start. Just trying to get my stuff together. All right, let's see. Testing, testing. All right, I think we're doing pretty good. Court has not started yet, so we're just waiting for court to start. There we go. So we're just waiting, and I'm just doing some typing. All right. So we are waiting for the court to start. I'm just hearing some feedback, and I got to check this out. Testing. Yeah. All right. Again, we're waiting for the court to resume. There's a lot of different things. So what we're going to see is the cross examination of Terrell Efren, which is ASAP Relly. He spent probably now 2 days in testimony. He spent 2 days in testimony. 2 days in testimony. 2 days in testimony. All right. 2 days in testimony. 2 days in testimony. Sorry, y'all. I'm just trying to get these. I'm hearing an echo, and I'm trying to make sure that I figure out where this echo is coming from. All right. Testing, testing. This is sounding much better. Okay. Sorry about that, y'all. All right. Whew. So again, and I'm sorry. Again, we are waiting for the testimony of ASAP Relly. This is going to be the cross examination. This is going to be where the defense is going to question him about what he has told the prosecution. If you have been following this case, there's a lot of questions that the prosecution did not answer for us, or uh, the way their questionings was set up, they weren't really trying to find any answers. They're just basically, I think what they did, if you go watch my recap of yesterday, they did establish that ASAP Rocky had a weapon. Now, according to his defense, it wasn't a real weapon. It was a prop gun, a starter pistol. So we had that. We also have some confusing testimony. Uh, the confusing testimony that we have from ASAP Relly, there's just some questions. So you were shot at. Well, first of all, you were threatened with a weapon. And you then followed the people that had the weapon. One you testified, ASAP Relly testified, had a gun, and the other person, ASAP Relly testified, had a knife. He then followed them to around the from where the initial altercation took place. He followed them around the corner. Thus, following him around the corner, he confronts them. He says that there was two shots that rang out and that his hand was grazed. And they did show a picture of his knuckles being grazed. He says there was a kerfluffle, and go back and watch the thing about what happened in that kerfluffle. He goes back to his hotel and decides about an hour later. He goes back to his hotel. Instead of calling the police, he calls an attorney. Once he calls the attorney, he goes back. He takes his girlfriend, and they go back to the site. And before he goes back to the site of where the gunshots were fired, he stops by a Dunkin'. He gets a pen and he gets a bag, and then he goes to the place where he was shot at, and he finds shell casings. He picks them up, and then 2 days later, he takes them to the police. So I'm hoping the question will be asked, if you went back to the site, why didn't you call the police then? Because what we find out from the testimony of Thomas Zizzo is that they were called to the scene, and for the shooting, they looked around. They didn't see like any visible damage that there had been a shooting, like, maybe a car got shot, because the alarms went off on the cars. So they were looking to see if a car had gotten shot or any of those things. They did not find any shell casings at that point. But 30 minutes from when the police left the scene, ASAP Relly gets to the scene and he finds two shell casings. So there was an investigation completed. Shell casings. They did not find a gun in ASAP Rocky's possession, but they did find ammunition. So we are waiting for the cross-examination. I will tell you that the direct for ASAP Relly was like pulling teeth. He just, they would ask a question, he wouldn't answer the question. Or, I mean, he would answer the question. It's just the fact that he uses certain, he was acting like he didn't understand simple questions. He tried to over-explain stuff when it should have been just a yes or no answer. I got the feeling that he wasn't really bothered with the minutia of all the little stuff. What he wanted to get to was the fact that ASAP Relly became CSI Relly, and that he picked up the bullets, and he wants people to focus on the fact that he was the one that found the bullets versus 7 or 8 trained officers that didn't find the bullets. He was able to find the shell casings versus the police not finding the shell casings. So we're going to see how this works out. Again, we're just waiting. Let me take this banner down. We're just waiting for the court to convene. And as you all are in here, please hit that like button. I really would appreciate it. And if you're here, if you would go to my community page on YouTube, I have a tally of whether or not, if you think that, because we're gonna, I'm going to update that poll next week. We'll start fresh from, because I want it to be from all the evidence that you heard this week. What do you think? Do you think ASAP Rocky is guilty? Do you think he is not guilty? Please get that poll, answer that poll for me as well. I tell you, this is part of the, let me just play a little music while we're sitting here, because this is pretty much part of it. We just having to sit back and to wait to see until everything starts up. I'm just going to go and review some of my mutuals to see if they're on.
He seemed real scared of it. Yeah. Brittany Gibbs, at the prelim, he said, I don't even walk like that. Well, if you apparently were just tussling on the floor, dropping people to curbs, bumping up your knee joints. I mean, he's in his 30s, right? So when this happened, maybe early 30s, he was early 30s when this happened. Do you walk a little funny when you've been rolling around, knocking on your knees? Because that could explain it. That could explain it. So, oh man. It's crazy. Oh, yeah, so I'm a detective now. Linda with the throwback here says, it's Relly and Detective Copeland collecting evidence, solving cases. ASAP Slime says, y'all think he'll have the same clothes. Oh man. No, this is fair if you want to think somebody should have taken a plea deal. I mean, everybody is entitled to their opinion. And when I heard he was turning it down, I said 2 things. Dang, that's a sweet deal to turn down. But maybe they know why the prosecution's offering them such a nice deal 2 years later. 2 years later, right? So, and one part of that, not for nothing, but one part of that could be, I don't know how to say the last prosecutor's name, Glasgow, whatever. But there's been a change in the district attorney, right? There's a new district attorney after the election cycle. So that could explain in part, but I don't really think that that's all of it. I don't think that that's the whole picture. So I'm sure their team...
I wanted to go over a couple of things while we're waiting and waiting for the court to come in, and we'll be able to talk. Again, as you come in, please hit that like button. Do you think that ASAP Rocky can produce this starter pistol that he supposedly had? Would it be relevant for him to produce this starter pistol? And again, what do you think? Because I'm still confused. Because, like I said, the direct examination of ASAP Relly, the prosecution bounced around a lot of different things. And like I said, what the prosecution was able to put forth was the fact that you can visually see in the first incident, because he's charged with 2 charges, right? You're able to see in that first incident at the car garage that ASAP Rocky pulls a gun out of his waistband. We definitely see that. And they made a good point of being able to show that ASAP Rocky, what clothes he was wearing, all of that good stuff. When questioned about certain things, ASAP Rocky, Relly, again, skipped over a lot of different things, or the way the case is built up, because I like to see a case, this is just personally for me, I like to see a case built up on things being chronologically in a chronological order so that you can follow it. And what we were seeing is that he was bouncing around a lot of different things, because first it was, what were you doing in California at this time? He said he's in California because of his artist. Okay, that's fine. And that he was spending time and he was in the studio with his artist. Then he says ASAP Bari. He was with ASAP Bari. ASAP Bari gets a call on speaker from ASAP Rocky. And ASAP Bari mentions ASAP Relly, and ASAP Rocky told him to, F that Negro. I don't fool with him. Now, here is some backstory in regards to why these two, and I don't know if this is going to come up from the defense's prosecution or cross-examination or not. But part of the issues between ASAP Rocky and ASAP Relly was the fact that they had another collective member, ASAP Josh, to pass away. Now, I'm not saying that ASAP Rocky and ASAP Relly didn't have issues prior to that, but apparently ASAP Josh passed away, and ASAP Rocky had made mention that he would help pay for the funeral. Somehow, some way, ASAP Relly decided that he was making it his mission to say something about ASAP Rocky not keeping his promise. But ASAP Rocky did keep his promise. It just didn't happen, I guess, the way that ASAP Relly wanted it to happen. Hold on, y'all. I do believe words were exchanged, and they haven't been like cordial since. And then probably some other things to have coincide, because if you all don't remember, ASAP Rocky spent a good time in a Swedish jail cell behind him getting into an altercation with the two bloggers or whatever that were following him and trolling him and doing all kinds of stuff, up until the point, they were antagonizing him up until the point that when he pushed them, apparently you're not supposed to touch them or anything. I guess in Sweden, you could antagonize all you want, but once he pushed the people back, then they filed that he assaulted them, and he was in a Swedish jail for some months. He didn't stay there a year, but it was some months that he was over there. And it just worked out that he couldn't come back. But anyway, all of this to say, and also to what's not being talked about again, I don't know if the prosecution felt like that was important to mention, was the fact that ASAP Rocky was suing ASAP Rocky for medical bills and other things too. Now, there was some text messages that were presented yesterday, a string of text messages over a periods of days, which show Relly talking about talking to ASAP's manager, ASAP Rocky, and I'm just going to try to say Rocky and Relly. It shows Relly talking to or texting Rocky's manager, thus texting him as well, saying that you shot me. Rocky says, I don't know what you're talking about. He tells that to the manager as well. Relly texts the manager, says that Rocky shot him. There was a string of also text messages where he concluded that, hey, I'm getting ready to sue Rocky. And we finna do that. Hello, hello. I hope you had a good birthday yesterday. I hope you had a great birthday. Hey, Blue. But he was getting ready to sue them. So, and he has been on a mission to sue to get money. And that has been a thing. But his actions appear. Now, like I said, I think that the prosecution did a good job establishing that ASAP Rocky had a gun. And that is because of the initial, the first charge of them when they were at the garage. The video from the second spot is so grainy, you can't hardly, the only person that you can tell that was there is ASAP Ills, and the only reason why you could tell that is because he had on red. Everybody else had on dark colors, so you really couldn't tell who was who, where they were. And the way the white, the screen was so blown out with white, you couldn't really see. They didn't put any contrast or anything. They didn't do anything to the image. Now, it could be because I'm watching it from my computer, and then you see the television and the camera phase, but it just didn't do too good. I can't tell you what I see. All I see is white with a little added gray in there. That's all I see is white with a little added gray. But on the second scene, that they were doing a lot of movement. You did see you saw some movement at the top. You saw a little different things, but you didn't see, you saw them scatter. I couldn't tell who was shooting who, which blurry figure shot the gun, because I don't remember seeing any muzzle shots or anything. You couldn't really tell all of those different things, but what you can do is see, then you see people like running away. So I think that, like I said, I don't know if they were able to show that second thing. Let me go back. Now, they did have a witness. Let me see what her name was. Here, let me add this to the stage, because you know I like a good PowerPoint. So he's charged again. He's charged with 2 counts of assault with a semi-automatic weapon, and both charges, from what I understand, can lead him up to 24 years in prison. Now, they did offer him a plea deal of like 3 months in jail, 18 months probation, and then like 2 or 3 years of community service. And he did turn that down. And so, again, this is just the background information of what had happened. Was he said that on Terrell Efron stated that on November 6, 2021, ASAP Rocky fired a gun at him and it grazed his knuckles. He reported that he went to the police a couple of days later, but an hour after he got shot, he went back to the place where he got shot. He did not call the police then. Who he called was an attorney. He did not call the police then. He called an attorney, and the attorney was the one advising him. I can't remember if he said the attorney advised him to get to go get evidence and then take it to the police, or he went to go get quote unquote evidence and then he called, or the attorney said, no, you need to take it to the police. But however that turned out, and I hope we get this in cross, that's how the police got the shell casings, because ASAP Relly became ASAP CSI. went back to his own crime scene and picked up all the bullets and things like that. He says that his life is in tatters because he's labeled as a snitch, and that, you know, his artists, because he has some management company, his artists rebelled against him, didn't want to work with him anymore. So he was relegated to a little bit of obscurity, I guess. I'm not really sure about Mr. Relly at this point. Give me one moment. All right, I think I like that. So that's where we are. This is where we are. So I'm expecting this is the day that I'm expecting to be a big day, because it's going to be the cross examination. So I'm looking forward to see if this is going to be a big day. They said, now here's the case against Rocky, that the police officers who searched the Hollywood sidewalk after a report from shots, and let me go back to So let's go to the testimony that we've had so far. Right here, Leah Elizabeth Martin, the second one. She is the person that called the 911 because she saw from her balcony window the she saw both kerfluffles. She saw the one in the parking garage, she said, but she didn't see a gun then because the kerfluffle pushed back into the parking garage. That one pushed back into the parking garage. She said that she saw them leave the parking garage and then they went around the corner. And she said she could see over the top of the parking garage, but she couldn't see all of it. And she said she did hear the shots. And then she said she did see a person wearing dark clothes. She saw the shot, and then she saw everybody disperse. She said she saw somebody go towards the parking garage, so her view was obscured. So she called the police because she didn't want anybody to have been shot, and they were down there bleeding. So she called the police, and the police did come. And when the police came, like I said, they scoped the area. They were looking for any damages to the cars. I know that they interviewed a homeless person there. They said at that point they didn't see any evidence of a shooting, so they went on about their business. Now, 30 minutes after that, now the one thing that the defense established is that there was at least 7 officers on the scene at that shots fired scene. There were 7 officers, and 7 officers went up and down the block, so to speak, because it's like Argyle and Selma, I think is the 2 streets. They went up and down those 2 streets, and they did not find any evidence of anything, any evidence of shooting. They were very the prosecution was very keen to let people know the difference between a revolver and the difference between a semi-automatic. A revolver, the shell casings don't get ejected, but a semi-automatic gun, the shell casings get ejected. So they're saying that this is why he's charged with the semi-automatic weapon, because ASAP Rocky, CSI Relly found the shell casings. Okay. So, all right. And so I went over and I did a little search about what does the prosecution have to prove in order to convict someone with assault with a semi-automatic weapon. So, according to give me just one moment. I just gotta, you have too much stuff opened in the all right. So according to California, To convict somebody with the assault with a semi-automatic weapon, you have to establish intent, that the defendant acted willfully and intentionally. The deadly weapon, the defendant used a semi-automatic firearm, and I think this was the reason why they kept going on the difference between a revolver and a semi-automatic. They have to show that the defendant had a semi-automatic, used a semi-automatic firearm or another deadly weapon.
Seen on November 6, 2021. Yeah, like an hour later.
All right, so we're getting into the cross-examination. Let me put that up on my screen.
You're talking about the actual human. I'm back. You go back, see here. You can see on November. I showed it. And within a 30 minutes, how many times back? Once. Oh, within a minute of return scene, you will No, within a minute. I take a little while to look for it. That's why that they were doing. I remember right. I did not catch a lot. Well, I said within a minute or two, but it's from time to time. It's not close. No. It's a minute or two. Minute. I mean, you said 2 to 3 minutes. Was that right? 2 to 3 minutes. Back to right. I mean, I think years ago, you asked me 3 years later. Yeah. I mean, I can check now. Everything is just videotaped and stuff. Correct. Anyway. You said they're on the showcases, 3 minutes or seeing the judge. No. I usually flashlight on my phone. Oh, you did. Yeah. And you know that there was cops there for you, right? How would I know that? No one told you? No, I'm not going to know that. Now, just to clear up one thing, you were asked by the judge. It was 2 days ago. If you would leave and turn out, and then correct. You said no. Yeah. And you understand that's yes. You and I had a meeting, so to speak, that we're going to hear when you testify this, right? Correct. That was in 2020. I believe so. Yeah. It was judge, prosecutors, right? But you asked us, sitting down, just right.
What is going on here?
You're here with lawyers, right? Yes. The lawyers are your citizens. Yes. And you've been doing this every single day, right? Correct. You've met many times more than last several years. I was there many times. They called me met when over the years. Well, last time I met with the prosecutors here. When I flew in, what was that? 2 days ago. So before you Yeah. And what about private use? That's testimony. I didn't need good. You need to no. So you didn't need private such a list. I don't need to. I understand you don't need questions.
Cost for yes.
Wait, say the question again, you did not meet with your private attorneys in preparation of your testimony. No, they didn't say it was important. I don't need to prep.
It's not responsibility.
And that's what I'm talking about, how he testifies.
You testified that. Before the shooting, right? Correct. And you said that if you said the word.
Do I have an echo now?
Right. I don't know. Let me explain again. Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you the test. Go ahead.
The video has an echo. Okay. What about now?
you know, victim of for success. At the same time, now you're doing bad. Okay. But then the same text messages, like I never was like just straight out like, oh, fuck you. I never said fuck you, probably did, but it was like real wishy-washy in the sense like, look, you know, I don't want to, you know, I never really got a response to that.
Let's see what's going on.
Yeah, but you bring up the actual text message I'm talking about. We ain't not gonna pull.
All right, hold on.
There he goes.
When anybody asks a question, just one question. Don't pierce. If they want to flesh it out, so Louis might want to do it, Katrina might want to do it, and it's okay. So if you're asking yes or no question, just the answer is either yes, no, I don't remember, or I don't know. Don't volunteer it, right?
Can you say that again?
Say yes.
Yes. Did you hear your testimony? Yeah.
How about now?
And when you said, I said, fuck you, was right, that's what you just said. I don't get what you said. I'm sorry. I don't get what you say. I really don't hear. What do you hear yourself say? But what are you getting at? I don't get what you say. But explain
Asking you.
Got you. All right, y'all give me one moment, okay? I'm gonna go back out and come back in, okay? One moment.
Can you explain the question?
Play it again.
No,
How's it now? Hold on.
but the same text message. Like I never was like just straight out like, oh, fuck you. I never said fuck you. Probably did, but it was like real wishy-washy in the sense like, look, like I don't want to, you know. But I never really got a response to that.
Okay. No, it's my setup, y'all. Every time I try to use, I want to do horns and all this other stuff. I haven't mastered it yet, so I apologize for that. Going back old school.
No, but you're not explaining the question. Here's my question. I see myself, but you're not explaining. So what I'm supposed to say, yes, I never do.
Just listen. Did you see yourself? Did you see yourself?
I see myself.
Did you hear yourself?
I heard myself.
Was that truthful?
What's truthful?
What you just said.
That I love him or like we was cool? I don't know what you mean. I said a lot of things.
If I said fuck you.
Thank you.
Watching the flow, you know.
Okay, it's true.
Yeah. In fact, on September 18th, 2021, at 9:40 at 8:19 a.m., you text Rocky, fuck everything about you, fake ass gay nigga, right?
Of course not.
Of course not? Okay. I'm gonna show you a text message now. Take a look at that one.
Y'all, I don't know what we gonna do.
Is it legitimate?
Yes.
All right.
Vandrelli,
Hold on. This is that's Susan Charlie.
September 18th, 2021, 8:19 a.m. No matter how much the nigga tried, you not charging, I think they're changing. Fuck everything about you, you fake ass nigga. I can't hate you. Sucker ass guy nigga, then you change guy again. Remember sending that message?
Bro, this is in 21.
I understand. Everything we're talking about here today is in 21. Every text message you showed me yesterday was in 21.
Yeah, but you asked me now, do I remember? You're not showing me nothing else that came into the text message, so I probably did right there. Is that from me?
That's from me.
Okay, that's cool.
That's cool. Okay. So was that wishy-washy with love when you wrote that?
I mean, you're not showing me the rest of the conversation, so I can't really.
Was that wishy-washy with love?
Yes,
That was wishy.
yes,
Sucker ass game name.
yes,
That was with love.
yes.
By the way, before we start talking about the events surrounding November 6th, 2021, which we will talk about for Stefan.
Can you pull up the rest of the text message?
Stefan, here's what we're gonna do. I'll ask the questions. You're gonna answer. Okay, if you can. Before we talk about the events of November 6th, 2021, which you spent 2 days testifying about, I'd like to talk a little bit about you and some of the things you testified. Money is particularly important to you, Stefan, correct?
No.
It's not important to you.
I mean, you need it, but no.
Okay. In November 2021, you told people that you were a millionaire, correct?
What?
You do not understand my question.
I don't understand this. Yes, no, I don't know.
Which you got all three in there. Yes, no, I
I'm
don't.
talking about 21. I told somebody I do so much stuff. I don't know what's the constants of you talking about.
Okay, you know a guy named Wally?
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 Okay, so what? I'd probably say yes or no. I don't care. Like, what is
You probably said yes, no, I don't care. That's your answer?
what is me being the? I don't get it, but no. Yes, no, I don't know.
Pick one. Pick one for the jury. Anyway.
I don't know. It's been so long. I can tell people whatever I want. If I'm a millionaire, not a millionaire, like what? I'm not a millionaire, but what's that got to do with this case?
Efron just answered the question. He asked you a yes or no question. He asked the question.
But I don't want to get no right wrong. I don't know what is he.
Listen to the question, and it's the answer is either going to be yes, no, or I don't know. I don't know. Ask the question.
You know, I didn't watch all of the preliminary hearing, but he was acting the same way in the preliminary hearing.
Okay, yeah.
Would you tell him that you were a millionaire?
You gotta show me the. I don't remember.
You don't remember?
I don't remember.
Go ask another question.
It's important to you that you portray a very lavish lifestyle as well, right, Mr. Efron?
No.
It's not. Okay. You told this jury yesterday that after this incident, you don't have a social media presence anymore. Yeah.
This is the testimony.
Yeah, I don't.
You don't have social media presence anymore.
No, I don't.
Your username on Instagram is Rellyballs, right?
That is.
And on your Instagram profile is a featured story you call Lifestyle, right?
It is.
All right.
Wait, would you repeat the name is Relly what?
Relly Boss.
Boss.
Boss. Like you, Boss.
Exactly. He doesn't stand that this is about credibility.
Don't volunteer.
And that's been his problem with his testimony. Because see, he wants to get to him going finding the bullets and stuff like that. That's what he wants to get
The
into.
cover photo of the Lifestyle feature in your Instagram is a thumbnail image of a
Hey,
private
Pete.
jet, right?
think that was the jet I was on with Jamari, but yeah.
Okay. Again, going back to this because you just told this jury that portraying a lavish lifestyle of extreme wealth is not important to you.
I mean, it's not. It's so much other important things in life, but I mean, you need money.
Okay. There is on that lifestyle portion of your Instagram is several photos. Let me show you a few. One is defense, now,
The next in order,
Yeah.
D is in David.
D. That's something you posted, right? You put up.
Well, what is it?
Okay. It's a photo from his Instagram lifestyle. It's one of the 7.
Dated when?
He gives me, again, I don't like to try to analyze things like that, but he doesn't give me like he's it's like he's playing with the deck, but it ain't full. Like he's missing like the 2 jokers, an ace, and a 6 of clubs.
Dated December, we'll get to the case, don't you worry, Mr. Pepperoni. December 29th, 2022.
He'll get by, but
That's you posting the product jacket, right?
Okay.
Okay. And what you wrote there, if it ain't about money, I ain't liking you.
No, it says Lincoln.
Ain't Lincoln?
Linkin.
Right?
Yeah. Like, why don't you show on my Instagram? I'm already getting death threats. People threatening my daughter. Like, what's going on here?
Who gave you that, Mr. Pepperoni?
The whole world.
The world threatened you? The whole world gave you
Because of
that?
what you're saying.
Because I'm asking you a question on your Instagram.
Because you're saying I'm an extortionist and all of this, and you're putting my whole life on. This is getting really annoying.
No one is calling you extortionist.
You're gonna get. What does this have to
Mr.
do
Efron,
with the
you're gonna
kids?
get through a lot faster if you just answer the questions. If somebody asks an improper question, I won't allow it to go forward. If you're being asked a question that's lawful in a courtroom, just answer it, even if it makes you mad, even if you don't see the point of it, just answer the questions as truthfully as you can, regardless of who asks. Please do that, okay? Yes?
Yes.
So we're-
and let me
Money, I ain't Lincoln you.
let me pause right here. And this is the social worker coming out of me. He reminds me of those dudes who always want to be placated. You can't ask him the tough questions because then he goes into this tirade. I'm being extorted. I'm all this other stuff. Because he knows that if he answers, if you get deep enough with him, he's gonna lie. He is going to lie, and you're gonna see his character. He's trying to hide behind, oh, I'm so scared for my life. The whole world is after me. Because there is some lies. He's being exposed, and he doesn't like that. And it could be something just as simple as, I'm not a millionaire. I have $75,000 to my name. That's not a bad thing, but he doesn't want to be exposed for that.
What's that?
I don't know. It's a phrase.
And what did you mean by it? You posted, what's it mean?
Nothing.
How about this next one? This is defense, E.
He isn't ever.
E is next. From your Instagram lifestyle. That's you, sir.
Now, Rihanna was there yesterday. I'm not sure if she's there
More
today.
funds is the focus right now, and that's June 5th, 2023.
Hey, what's wrong with that?
Mr. Ekman. I ask you a question. I'm not saying in control.
Okay, what's up?
What do you mean by that? More funds to focus right now.
I mean, trying to get successful. Like, what do you mean? I do private equity. I do a lot of things, but I don't understand these questions. Why am I answering questions about my Instagram?
Well, you talked a lot about your lifestyle yesterday, about your business, and right now you're mentioning private equity, which we'll get to, and how you earn your money, right? We're talking about that. So you just said your portraying a lavish lifestyle is not important to you. So talking about some of the postings on Instagram, like this next one.
But Instagram is a place of, like, I don't see how you basing me as a person off my Instagram.
Let's take a 10-minute break.
You talking about my Instagram?
Explain Mr. Sean the various roles here. Let's take.
A little combative, is it? Because he doesn't want to answer those questions. He doesn't want to answer those questions. Because even with his direct testimony yesterday, it was difficult to get him to answer, because if he feels like that's not a question that he wants to answer, he'll just keep blustering through or talking in different way. I don't understand the question. It's a simple question. Do you love him? I don't understand the question. Why are you asking me these types of questions? Because it's the kind of questions that you have. Did Jesus make him answer the question? Simple yes or no. This has been going on all that he's been in the testimony, that he's been testifying. The judge has been saying, if it's a yes or no question, answer. He's been telling him you're being unresponsive. If the yes or no question, answer the question. He doesn't want to do that. Now, when they were talking about his CSI skills, oh, baby, he wanted to tell you that he was at Dunkin' Donuts. He went to, he got a bag and he got a pen, and he went out there, and as a CSI agent, he found them damn bullet casings. He'll tell you quick how he went back to the hotel, and instead of calling the police because he's been shot, he called an attorney, and the attorney had to tell him he needed to go to the police. But did he go to the police that day? No, he went back to the scene of the crime, CSI'd it down, and found those bullet casings. Now, you think he took those bullet casings right to the police department? No, it was 2 days later. But he don't want to be questioned around all of that. He just wants everybody to know, this is what I did. I'm a good Samaritan because I did that. Because I had been wrong, and I was the one to be able to right the wrongs that I have. And so his testimony, and I'm sorry, I don't know what it is. Maybe I look too much TV, but I wish that they would have their questions to where it makes sense. Making it a chronological or something makes sense. Don't bounce all over the place. You know, because I do want to know what's the point about this. But if we're talking about because they want to show that he is a grifter and this is about money, that's one thing. But move on. Show him them text messages and move on, because I feel like I hate for this to be a Woody situation in YSL. At that point, I had never seen somebody been on the stand for like 3.5 months. The same witness. 3.5 months every day he was on the stand. So, but I have the PowerPoint up again, and so far in this trial that actually started on Tuesday, we've only had 3 witnesses. That's Sergeant Thomas Zizzo, Leah Elizabeth Martin Brown. She's the one that called the police. And we had direct from Terrell Efron. And so now we're in the cross for him. So these are the only 3 witnesses that we have had so far in this case. So here's the things that the defense has to come against. Now, when the police officers were there, and there were up to 7 police officers, they didn't find any shell casings. But again, 30 minutes after they left, which was about an hour after the incident happened for ASAP Relly, he goes back and he's able to find 2 shell casings. So we're trying to, if they can establish, in my opinion, if they can establish that we searched the place, we didn't find any shell casings. We don't know where he got those shell casings. They weren't with him. Nobody was with him except for he said his girlfriend was with him. But I don't see, unless the defense can pull up some video evidence some grainy video evidence of seeing him go back to the scene and get those bullet casings, because we'll never know. There's another person, there's somebody with a white shirt or a light colored shirt that was there, but he says that wasn't him. At first he said it was him. Then he said he wasn't him. And the defense was wanting to impeach him as a witness, but the prosecution, started jumping up and saying what they needed to say. So we'll figure it out, because he's going to need to answer these questions, because he's trying to pull on the people's heartstrings about, oh, I'm being extorted. I'm having death threats. Who is extorting you and giving you death threats? I'm being labeled as a snitch. Who's doing that? But that's to incite incite the emotions of the jury that he's there under duress. This is a long break. I need for them to come back. Well, y'all, let's put a little music on. Right. It's too late to keep it street. You went to the police. Now you got to play by their rules. Exactly. Because, he sent text to them. Basically, I think he was probably waiting to see if they were going to take the bait, because he was sending text messages to A$AP Rocky and A$AP Rocky's attorney. So I think he was trying to see if they were going to take the bait to pay him some money. A mess. And see, they're getting to the point. Let me see what time it is. Because that court reporter union, they don't play. So so it's 11:26 and they go to lunch and everything on time. So if they're still in break in about the next 15 minutes, they won't come back until after lunchtime. And they're guaranteed to get an hour of lunch. Because we haven't had a full 20 minutes of testimony. All right, because I didn't realize the break was going to last longer than what it needed to last longer. So let's go back over. You remember I talked to you all about what the prosecution has to prove. All right. So they have him with 2 counts of assault with a semi-automatic weapon, right? So the prosecution has to prove intent, that the defendant acted willfully and intentionally, that there was the deadly weapon. They're going to have to show and prove that there's a deadly weapon. And remember, I told you they presented a video of them in, having a kerfluffle in the car parking lot, and you do see the person who was identified for the court as ASAP Rocky pulling a what appeared to be a gun out of his back waistband and then putting it back into his waistband again. Well, we actually see him trying to put it back in there because once they pushed him into the car park outside of the purview of the video, when he comes back, he has the weapon. They have to prove that there was an ability to cause injury. The defendant has the ability to cause an injury at the time of the offense with the gun. This is why the starter pistol argument is coming up, because they're saying that it was a starter pistol and it didn't have the ability to cause injury. They're talking about the likelihood to cause injury. The defendant's action would have likely resulted into injury. That the defendant knew their actions would result in a injury, that there had to be awareness. No self-defense argument, that the defendant was not acting in self-defense. Now, I don't know how they think that they could finagle this kind of situation because of the fact that ASAP Rocky, ASAP Ills, and ASAP 12E walked away from ASAP Relly. And then ASAP Relly, according to his testimony, went behind them, fussing and cussing and everything like that. And his reasoning behind that was, oh, I'll never see ASAP Rocky again, and I needed for him to know how I felt. Fool, you in the group chat. You had the ability to text him, and you still have the ability to text him. And so down here in the chat, those that are down here in the chat, how many people put a 1 in the chat that you're going to walk behind a man who you say has a gun and who pulled it out on you? And you're walking behind a man who you testified had a knife. That you're going to walk behind them fussing and cussing because you didn't know if you were going to ever have the opportunity to fuss and cuss at them again. Put a 2 in the chat if you wouldn't do that. So a 1, yes, you would walk behind him. Because I'm not, listen, the first time that he pulled that weapon out on me and I was able to walk away, there's no reason that I'm like, you got it, Playboy. I'm not going after you. I'm not saying anything. And the last one that the prosecution has to show is that it was not in defense of others. The defendant was not acting in defense of others. So these are the criteria in which the prosecution has to convince the jury of. They have to show his intent. They have to show that there was a deadly weapon present, that weapon had the ability to cause injury, that there was a likelihood of injury from that weapon, that he was not acting in self-defense, and he was not acting in defense of others. Now, I'm not really sure about that, but I know that he did a testimony. He was in his testimony. He said something about when ASAP fired a gun, it grazed his knuckles, and then he grabbed ASAP Ills and was using him as a human shield. And then another shot rang out. Okay, we back.
I'm going to show you one more photo from your lifestyle.
Is this another?
It is one. For 8 guys. And it's a thanks what?
The next one is going to be Ephesus Frank.
Ephesus Frank. Yeah. So that is that's an image of you showing a yellow Range Rover with the caption "Big for about," correct?
We have
Yeah. 10.
Wait,
You know what I actually?
hold on.
Can I just say one thing?
No, wait, stop. You might ask if you recognize it. Establish the foundation.
You recognize that car?
Yes,
Okay. You recognize the car?
yes,
Okay. And does that car belong to your girlfriend Lydia Parker?
belongs to me,
It belongs to you?
yes,
Not Lydia?
belongs to me,
Okay, you take that down. Now, Lydia Parker is your girlfriend, correct?
yes,
And Lydia Parker is the same Lydia Parker who zelled you $2,000 on November 8th, 2021, 2 days after this, correct?
Objection, relevant order.
I don't recall.
You don't recall? We could show you. We have, okay. Let me just,
They're gonna show the witness something,
okay.
they have to refresh his recollection by not doing it in front of the jury. Not
Yeah,
with
the photo.
I did, we do.
Go ahead and show it.
Sure.
At the, there's no need for any counsel to ask whether it's okay to approach the witness stand. It's okay for anybody, all counsels to approach the witness stand.
Okay, you ready? So, does that refresh your recollection that Lydia Parker, your girlfriend, sold you $2,000 on November 8th, 2021?
I guess so, yes.
Now, that's not the only time Lydia Parker gave you money, correct?
Objection 352.
Stay. One second.
Well, specifically, did Lydia Parker give you $24,000 in cash?
No, you
In
just, I just said,
October,
when?
October 2021.
Objection 352.
Yeah, that predates the incident. The objection to stay.
Okay.
On to something else, unrelated to, Mr. Efron being given any money.
Okay. Now, you told the jury that you were making money in 2021, that it was a hybrid music career, right?
I I wouldn't say that what I was doing as far as like music, like getting label meetings and doing shit like that. Can you say the question again, please?
You told the jury yesterday that you were making money in 2021, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Is it-
Yes, yes.
And that you said was the height of your music career.
Yes, correct. So,
Around the same period of time, in September 2021, you personally had about $4,000 in your bank account, correct?
I don't know.
Okay,
I don't have multiple bank accounts.
okay. What was your primary bank account? I don't want the numbers, sir.
What bank? He's asked, where was your money? Which bank?
I don't know. I have a lot. I don't want to say I don't know. I have a lot of things. Primary, I have a lot of primary.
So you had a lot of banks.
Yeah.
A lot of bank accounts?
Yeah.
Okay. In Bank of America, you don't recall having $4,000 in September 2021?
I don't remember.
Okay, sure. Okay, so does that refresh your recollection that you had $4,000, 4,191 to be exact? in your
Wow, they subpoenaed his bank account?
September 2021.
No, he's being used to refresh his record.
What was the question again?
Sure. Does that refresh your recollection that in September 2021, you had $4,191 in your Bank of America bank account?
I mean, it says it right here. Yeah.
Okay. And in June, you had $693 in that same bank account, correct? No, it's not there. You need, hold on.
These questions lack foundation. The foundation that you just need to ask is, does he
I
remember what he did?
seeking objections.
Stop the speaking objections.
All the questions.
Stop the speaking objections, both sides. Go ahead and show it to him, ask him if he recognizes what it is, if that reflective of his bank.
Woo, they are spicy, spicy, spicy.
What was the question?
Sure. I mean, look at that. Does that refresh your recollection that at the end of June 2021, the year of this incident, you had $693 in the bank account?
No, I never was a refresh my recollection. I don't have different statements, but yes.
Do you see that there?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Do you dispute the accuracy of that?
Your Honor, that's the improper question.
You are all for that then? Is defense exhibit?
The documents here say it does not come as a prior inconsistent statement. It's not contained as a witness record.
We already talked about whether it was, it could be used as an exhibit. Yeah, it's defense G.
So. There you go, sir. Anyway. That doesn't, as you sit here, it doesn't refresh your recollection. That's what you had, right? And if I showed you one from August, sitting at $1,500 in your bank account, would that refresh your recollection?
No.
All right. Now, take that. You said just now, you said yesterday that you were in and out, how did you use this word? You were in and out of label meetings before this incident, right?
Correct.
What labels?
Capital.
All right, let's take more of the capital.
Yeah.
Who did you meet with that capital raise?
Objection, 352, overruled.
Who?
I would have to ask my business partner.
Well, you were there, right?
I know, but it was so long ago.
All right, so he doesn't remember. Ask another question.
What's the other label you met with?
Universal and Epic.
Okay, let's take Universal.
I I don't know. I'm
You
just
don't know
going
if
to
you met with Universal?
It was a long time ago. It was over 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
You know, but everything you testify here.
I don't know, Mr. Takino.
Okay. How about Epic? You know anyone that you met with at Epic?
I mean, I have it in my phone. If you really want me to, I can.
No
I
truer
can
statement.
find
Everything that
all
he's
of the people,
testifying
but
for was over 3
I
years
don't
ago.
remember right now.
Okay, so you have actually the appointments of the people.
Yes, and I have flights from my business partner, everything. Like he flew to LA to these meetings.
Yeah, if you could eventually provide us with those names, that'd be great.
Yeah,
Who you met with?
that's not a question, it's improper.
Each so.
It's improper conversation, the witness is not a discovery motion.
You also said that you wouldn't fight Rocky because you were already not liked in the industry. You said it on your direct testimony.
Wait, say what?
On your direct testimony, when Paul was questioning you, this person, you said that one of the reasons you wouldn't fight Rocky was because you were already not liked in the industry. Remember saying that?
Because I'm already not liked in the industry.
Didn't you say that?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. So you were well liked in the industry.
I was. Yeah, I had a good name.
And then you said you wouldn't fight him because it would ruin your career.
I wouldn't fight him for many reasons.
Was that be one of them? It would ruin your career?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. You said a bunch of deals went away because this became public. Remember saying that to the jury?
Yeah, because you was in the media.
Is the answer yes?
Yes.
Okay.
That's good.
Let's start with what deals went away when this became public? Which deals?
Objection, 352.
Just a minute.
Didn't the judge say stop with the speaking of directions?
Mr. Efron, in all these areas that you feel,
Our objection is actually 352 on the 9, so our position shouldn't be hard.
I think the probative value exceeds our prejudicial.
Okay. So, go ahead.
Can you repeat the question again?
Sure. What deals went away because of this incident becoming public?
For my joint venture that I was seeking
With the,
with all the labels I just told you. There's other labels too. I can probably find for you if needed.
the way, I just understand that. You had a deal? with
No,
Universal.
I didn't have a deal. I was seeking a deal for a joint venture. I could have had a deal a long time ago, but I created a whole company, which I wanted a joint venture instead of just selling off my artists.
All right. So what specific deal you testified that deals went away? What other deals went away?
I mean, everything. All my artists turned on me. My own ASAP firms turned on me. Everybody.
Well, which artists left you after this incident?
My producers.
Name the artists that left you.
Do I have to name any names?
Yeah. You said the artists. I'd like to know which artists.
I'd rather not name any names.
There would be a 352 objection regarding specific.
Overall, Mr. Tacopina is entitled to explore areas that Mr. Efron testified to throughout history. Go ahead, Mr. Tacopina.
Like this. Stage name or like their name?
Stage.
Cash was one of my performing artists.
Say it again.
Cash,
Cash.
that was one of my artists. Remy, and then I worked with a bunch of like videographers,
You
producers.
need the spelling on the second one.
That would be helpful.
All right, Cash. Who was the second one?
Cash, Remy,
Wait, I don't know what you're saying.
Remy,
Remy?
yeah,
R-E-M-I
Y,
or R-E-M-Y?
yeah, Remy, I think that is. And then I was just doing,
Not Cash Doll and Remy Ma.
I had a bunch of other artists that I was in the works, like about to sign them.
So, sir,
But my main focus was on Cash, really, and like, yeah, just Cash.
Cash left you after November 2021.
He left directly after the case just went public.
After it became public.
Yeah.
Okay. And I think you said that the jury yesterday claimed that a lot of these deals went away when the case was publicized, right?
That's correct.
But sir, do you not only publicized it yourself, you promoted it, correct?
No, I didn't.
You did? Okay. We
Well, at least
talked
I try not to. I didn't talk about it a lot. Or try not to, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we're gonna impose just an objection. Counsel after his statements makes comments, okay, right, et cetera. We're gonna ask that those comments.
That's inappropriate for anybody to editorialize after a response. Go ahead and ask another question.
All right, so Wally's agenda, we talked about it, right, correct?
Can you say that again?
Wally's agenda.
You know, this prosecution is spicy, but not even I don't know if you watched the first day of actual trial, how they had accused the defense of trying to squabble up with them over in the corner. And now he's all every time he turns around, he's trying to tell this man how to conduct his cross-examination. Every witness, he's done the same thing, and the judge has admonished him.
We spoke at, right, you know we did right there. He's an IT guy, correct?
Okay, yes.
After Rocky's arrest in this case, you asked him to publish and publicize articles about the arrest, correct?
No,
You did not do that.
never.
Never. You didn't ask him to publish Rolling Stone?
Publish. What can he do? I don't understand. What can he do to publish anything? What do you mean by that?
Put on the internet, on your.
Why would I can do it? Why would he do it? What is he? Do you understand what he does?
All he's doing is asking you whether it did or did not happen.
No.
So you never did that?
No.
And you didn't offer to throw some money for doing that?
No.
Okay.
Only time I ever asked Wally to do anything for me was to get me verified.
Once again,
That's it. And that's a blue
never
check.
answers yes or no.
Screenshot, please.
He asks questions about why you asking it, and then he gives commentary, unnecessary commentary.
Sure, I'd like to show, the witness, this screenshot. I'll speak to Ms. Wood about it. This is cool. Yes.
No, there's an objection. The Kennedy Foundation should not be free from.
Or there's no speaking of objection.
Let me take a look at what bring it up.
Is anybody following where the cross is going? Because he's asking him questions, and I think he's asking because I think he's asking them for the jury to see how volatile he can get at some point. And also I think he's asking them because he's showing a pattern that he can lie about different things, or he will evade telling the information that needs to be told. When it comes to a yes or no question, he can't answer that. When it comes to a question, and if he does, he, instead of saying just yes and be through with it, he got to give commentary on it. When it calls for an answer for him to give commentary on it, he doesn't understand the question. Now, you know good and well, this is probably the same one. They have they don't feel a need to have to update it. Because all of that wood, because I thought the same thing about all that wood and paneling and everything like that. I thought the same thing. But you know they're not going to update it unless I'll be darned. You know what I think the issue is? I don't think that the audio visual is to the point where they could just cut the audio off. And you could just see in the courtroom. Possibly, because you remember I was reading that out. That he's been, possibly. Because even with that, what is it? Because I watched Cat Stream, and she was talking about the fact that when he testified, he made sure to hold ASAP Ailes in such a way that he wouldn't let him go. He just, like, anywhere he went, he took ASAP Ailes with him when the quote unquote shots rang out, and they ended up falling, because that's when I thought maybe he had bruised his knuckles. But he said that he wouldn't let him go, and so I'm like, that he could have shot for self-defense against for his friend ASAP Ailes, but it wouldn't explain the first shot. But he could say that not roaming through the hallways talking about, if it don't fit, you must quit. I think that's what it is. I don't think the audio visual person can do anything without the camera still being on.
You don't have to do that. Just play it for him. Does that have speakers? Play it for him there. Just so the witness stand, just so he can hear the voices. It doesn't have to be broadcasted at this point over the loudspeaker system.
John, before it's played.
No.
I'm just trying to report a ruling yesterday about phone calls. I'm just trying to report a ruling on it. No phone calls.
That judge is like, no.
That both sides knew was being recorded. So
Yeah, I didn't authorize me being recorded.
So that's the board.
Stop making speaking objections. Let's first find out if Mr. Efron recognizes the voices on the phone or on the recording.
I didn't give permission. I didn't give permission for someone to record my stuff. And watch him say that's not him. So tired of the prosecution.
That's not me. That's not me. That's fake.
Okay. No editorializing. He says it's not him. Go on to
Fuck
something
is
else.
that? That's fake.
Go on to something else.
Can I finish hearing it though? Can I finish hearing it?
No, you said it was fake.
There's no need to, because you said it's not you.
I want to finish hearing it though, because
You said it's not you, so it doesn't matter. Go on to something else.
Let's just be clear, that's not your voice.
I would love to hear it again.
No, are you not sure?
I would love to hear it again for 2 seconds.
Right, let me
Rest
get
of
it.
So, might it be your voice?
No, I would just love to hear it again because I never had this conversation with Bob Liller.
Okay, all right. Then if it's not you, then it's not you. Go on to something else.
Your Honor, does the court's ruling simplify and keep you regarding?
It depends on where the recordings were made. If the recording was made outside of California, it could well be that it might be a one consent state or maybe a two consent
This is
state.
a New York recording, made both parties New York rights, one consent statement.
Right, then it would be admissible. It would not be precluded by Penal Code Section 632.
Okay. So. You remember, telling Ms. Parker that your life is fake?
He says it's not him, but then he wants to go back and listen to what's being said. You see, that's that kind of stuff. He is an awful witness. Just say it's not me and move on. But if I hear it again, I want to hear what's being said. Why would you want to hear what's being said? You just said it was fake. It wasn't you. You see how he just focuses on the wrong thing. He focuses on the wrong things. But it's not me, but let me hear it.
Sustained as to the form of the question.
Okay. In 2021, August 5th to be exact, did you tell Ms. Parker that your life is fake?
Objection relevant.
Sustained. Sustained.
I don't recall.
You don't. Sustained. Sustained.
No, I understand. Right. This is the form for
Whether he said his life was fake or not has no bearing on any issue that's before the jury.
Okay.
On to something else.
Well, you called Rocky's life fake yesterday, right? Did you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember saying it?
Sheriff, you got to talk to the mic.
I don't remember.
Well, I want to ask a question, I'm just not sure if this was off limits or not. Should I ask Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
No.
Well, his honor said it's off limits, but I'm not sure you will.
Oh.
Should we go quick?
Again, Alice, that time, again, you got,
No, all right.
I'm not his honor, so you should not.
Well, then he should have ruled.
Can you two stop
Uh-oh.
squabbling?
Uh-oh. Squabble up. Squabble up.
It doesn't have to be on the record.
We definitely needed this judge. We definitely needed this judge because he does not play with them. He definitely doesn't play with them.
On November 6th, 2021, that's, by the way, the date of the incident, correct?
What incident? The shooting?
What incident happened on November 6th, 2021? Oh.
I'm not saying what.
On November 6th, 2021, your girlfriend Lydia Parker sent you a text message accusing you of being a fraud, correct? On that date.
Check your relevance, Your Honor.
No, I don't know.
Hold on.
It's also true.
Sustain. Sustain.
Motion to strike any answer.
The answer stricken. Thank you.
Okay. Sir, on this topic, one last time. The height of your music career was in 2021, you told the jury. You were making money, you said, quote, I finally figured out how to make money. In 2021, did you make money from your music business? Yes or no?
I didn't make money, but I figured out how to make money
Okay.
within the music industry. And my artist was making money because it's their royalties. I could have made money, but it wasn't enough for me to even, I don't want that money.
Okay.
I'd rather get them a deal.
Okay. In 2021, did you make money from other businesses aside from the music business?
I don't recall.
You don't recall if you made money any other way?
I don't recall.
Did you have any other
I don't recall.
jobs? Did you have any other jobs in 2021?
Don't recall.
Okay. So it's your testimony, you don't know if you made any money in 2021?
I don't recall.
Okay, Laura, I'm gonna move into an area now, based on that answer.
Say again?
I'd like to move into an area now, based on that answer, I think the vote is no.
Our position is 352 and relevance.
I don't know what area you were in. Why don't you come on up and tell us? Where it is.
Listen, I want to know what area they move it into. I want to know what money they talking about. Oh. They cut the feed. Listen. Listen. This judge probably want to go home. What is it, Thursday? He probably want to play around the golf, and he does not want to have to be bothered with these people. A mess. A mess, a mess, a mess. But I'm curious. See, now he doesn't recall. He doesn't recall anything now, because I believe they're fixing to get into if his girlfriend called him a fraud. What kind of fraud was he into? We got some music for y'all. I don't know how long we're going to be up in a break, but what are you all thinking about this testimony so far? Because, I've got questions. You don't recall anything that you did in 2021, but you'll be able to recall when he starts asking him questions about the him being CSI Raleigh. I bet you he'll be able to answer all those questions with his chest sitting out. But why would you want to listen to a recording that you categorically said wasn't you? I'm still trying to get an answer to that. And I mean, he kept going. I'd like to listen to that. I'd like to finish hearing that. Absolutely not. If it's not you, it's not you. That's fake news. I'm beginning to think that he's going to say that was him. If the recording made him sound good, it was going to be him. If the recording made him sound a little crazy, it's not him. But he didn't get enough of the recording to be able to make a decision either way. He didn't get enough of the recording either way to be able to make that suggestion. But I really, like I said, I am waiting for him to get to that day, because I have some answers. And honestly, y'all, if he doesn't finish his cross by this afternoon, he's not. We'll be going into tomorrow and probably into Monday with this cross examination, because I believe he is trying to establish that Mr. Efron is a grifter, and he saw an opportunity in this episode to be able to grift some money out of ASAP Rocky. Hmm. There we go. That's how I had it. Blue, are you still here? Exactly. I didn't see this comment earlier. But I'm not running up on you. I'm not following behind anybody that I have just testified to say one has a gun and I realized that the other one had a knife. And then you're not even strapped with any weapon, but you're walking behind them fussing. And you can kind of tell by the way he's acting within this courtroom that he probably walked behind them fussing and cussing because he does. And let me be clear, I'm not trying to act like I don't believe that he was injured or anything like that, but he's just doing way too much unnecessarily. Blue, are you still in the chat? If you are, let me know if you'd like to come up. I'll send you a link. Would you like to come up? Okay. I sent you a link in X if you'd like to, if you can. Because these are the longest breaks, and I wish that they would have because I know in New York, all the evidence and stuff like that, they hash it out before. So everyone knows what evidence that they're going to bring up or what they're going to bring and how it looks and everything like that, because they give them a time to hash it out. But here everything is haphazard because what threw me about this is the first day of court, they asked Mr. Efron and they asked another witness if they wanted to either talk to the defense or they wanted to talk to the prosecution. And both of them said no, which I guess is their right to be able to do so. But I had not seen that before. I don't understand it. I don't understand how all of the evidence that not all of it, because there's going to be some things that came in, but it seems like it makes court go longer because everyone is objecting to all the different stuff. And it looks like California laws are kind of just very okay, so I'm just reading what I'm doing is reading another article about this. It says, what does California Penal Code assault with a deadly weapon prohibit? In sum, to be guilty of assault with a deadly weapon under CPS 245A, you must assault someone with a deadly weapon other than we need to go. With the firearm. But anyway, let's just listen to what it says. We need to get to 245 B instead of A. Let's see if we can find 245. Wow. Okay, so court is on lunch. I knew that they were going to go. So y'all, they're going to come back within an hour. What I'll do, I'm not going to close down the stream. What I'm going to do is put it on break. I'm going to let the music play. I will be back in about 30 minutes. So if you all got to go, get up, use the restroom, do whatever it is you need to do. All right, so yes. Wait a minute, hold up. I missed something. Cool. So I'll be back here in about 30 minutes, okay?
his long-winded answers. He also tried to stop the conversation when
Good afternoon or good evening. This is Pamela, and you are watching Pam Entertainment TV, where we review movies, television series, and incidents in pop culture to see how those incidents may or may not affect our daily lives. Listen, I am going to recap for you all day 3 of the ASAP Rocky shooting trial. So, today, all day, it was a short day. It only lasted in the morning time, but the whole day we had ASAP Rally, and this was direct examination by the prosecution. So we should have cross examination tomorrow. So this is what I will say. Here are the pros in regards to the prosecution in this case. They were able to do a couple of things. They got those videos and they were able to explain the videos. I will tell you the gun being out because there's 2 locations. There is a location in a parking garage, and then that's the first location. And then we have the second location, which is around the corner and to the back of the parking garage. So, so let's say that you're on a street. I don't know the names of this street, but I know like Argyle and Selma keeps being mentioned. So let's just say that the parking garage is on one street, and they go in, you because you know how the parking garage goes and the cars go in there. So they're right there at the front of this parking garage. Then the altercation ceases, and then they go around the corner, and then another altercation happens, and then there is a fire, and 2 shots were fired. Okay. The prosecution, the playing of that first recording, it is clear that you see they mm, it's clear, the video is clear that you see 2 people squabbling, and then one pushes one person outside of the purview of the camera, and then they come back into the purview of the camera, and you do see a gun being pulled out of a waistband, and then you see it quickly placed back in the waistband, and then you see them go off camera. Now, that's a visual evidence to show, and the prosecution tied up who had on what clothes, and they showed that ASAP Rocky was the one in the black hoodie, all black with the hoodie. Okay. And they showed that he was the one that had the gun. Okay. Now they're going back and forth about well, not at this point. The defense is probably going to go back and forth about it. However, so visually you see that. Now when you see the altercation going around the corner, which is behind the block behind the car park, the parking garage, that film is quite grainy. And matter of fact, you can't really tell anybody but the person that wore red. And I believe that the person who wore red was ASAP Ills. Okay. That's the person that you can see because of the fact that he had a red. Everything else was so grainy, you couldn't make heads or tails about who was when and where. All right. I will tell you that was the pro for me. The con was the fact that the way the prosecution laid out this case, it was disjointed. They weren't asking questions in a chronological order to follow. And also, I will say this. ASAP really is a soft-spoken man, but he doesn't know how to answer questions. I mean, a yes or no answer, he won't answer it yes or no. It's always you know what I'm saying? Uh, people just need to keep it real sometimes. That's how he answers the questions. Now, I will tell you, he seemed to be kind of zoned out, And what I mean by that, I think in his head, the way he presented to me, in his head, he was ready to get to whatever that part that he wanted to get to, and that everything else he was just kind of just mumbling through. So let me tell you what I got from there that was confusing to me. Now, in yesterday, when he started his testimony, he said that he came to California because he came to help out his artists. And he was focused on his artists, and he came to focus on his artists, right? So he gets the text messages that, well, first he hears a telephone call uh, off on speakerphone, and he hears ASAP Rocky say, I don't fuck with that nigga. I don't bother with him. I don't want anything like that. So this is what we hear. There is no context as to why. And the prosecution kind of skips over, well, why don't y'all like each other? He says, well, we just he hangs with 12E, and I don't, they came after me, and in ASAP, and I just, I don't really mess with Rocky like that, and stuff like that. You never got an answer as to, because it didn't make, in my opinion, it didn't make sense from that. How did it escalate to you all fighting in the car park? So it didn't make any sense to me. I personally could not figure out why they were fighting in the car park. So then we get to the prosecution goes through about who was what, where was what they were doing, why they were doing what they were doing. So when they're in the car park in the front of the car park garage, ASAP Rally says, well, we were talking and he was upset, and then ASAP Rocky pulled the gun out on me, and ASAP 12E put a knife out on me, and then they walked away. Okay. They walked away. They walked down the street heading for Hollywood Boulevard, and then they made a left, and that's how they got to the park. He follows them. The prosecution couldn't get out of his mouth that he was afraid, because he was like, I knew I wasn't going to see Rocky anymore, and I had to get off my chest. I had to get everything off my chest. And he kept following. Someone just pulled a gun out on you. Someone pulled out a knife. And you still want to walk behind them talking about, I had to get things off my chest? Negro, you in the group chat. You were in the group chat because you saw text messages and Snapchats and all kinds of stuff come across your phone. You were in the group chat. You had ASAP Rocky's telephone number. You all had texted each other. How was it that you weren't going to be able to have contact with him ever again? That didn't make any sense to me. The second thing that didn't make any sense to me is he says that he got shot in his hand. And then he says that he put ASAP Ills in the middle between him and ASAP Rocky while ASAP Rocky was shooting. Right? To the point that he wrestled ASAP Ills to the ground. He wouldn't let him go. He kept wrestling him to the ground, and if I recall, they fell to the ground. Then he says, my hand was hot, and I got shot. Well, which was it? Did you get shot in the hand first, and then you fell to the ground? Because you was whooping on, according to his testimony, he was whooping on ASAP Ills, trying to hold him in front of him so that so he wouldn't get shot. Again, why would you go around the corner with someone who had a gun and another person who you said had a knife? Let's continue. So the prosecution is trying to keep him there about the fight and everything like that. He wants to go in about, oh, well, I came back and I picked up the bullets. I picked up the shell casings. I got the shell casings. Now, here's the thing about those shell casings that he got. Once he got back, once all of this altercation was over, from the first altercation in front of the gun park and the second altercation behind the car park on Argyle or Selma Street. I don't know which one. He goes back to the hotel. He then says, I took my girlfriend. I went to the hotel. I got my girlfriend and we went back to the scene of the crime. But I called a lawyer first to see. I called a lawyer to tell him, because I needed to have a lawyer with me when I did all of this, when I talked to police. He never called the police to tell them, listen, I'm going back to the place where I was shot. I need somebody to meet me there. He doesn't do that. He takes his girlfriend, which we didn't even know she was there. Nowhere in the testimony yesterday or before the testimony that I'm talking about did he say anything about his girlfriend, right? He says him and his girlfriend, they go to the Dunkins on Hollywood Boulevard. They get a bag and they get a pen. And they go back to the crime scene. And while they're out at the crime scene, they found the shell casings. Here's the kicker. About an hour before he did that, the police were there. There were 7 police officers. They were in and around that place. They didn't see any shell casings. He happened to walk right to where the shell casings were, took a pen, picked up the shell casings and put them in the Dunkin's bag. And then went to the police the next day. There's a text message, and I cannot tell who initiated the text messages. However, he texted ASAP Rocky, and I think he also texted ASAP Rocky's manager. I don't know if they were in a little text chain together, and they were texting back and forth. And he was saying I think he did the manager or whatever. But anyway, he texted them to tell them, I'm going to get me some money because you shot me. ASAP Rocky texts back, what are you talking about? He says, you shot me. And so in ASAP Rocky's text, he's saying he's not copping up to it, so to speak. He's saying that I didn't do that. He's not even acknowledging that fact, right? So him and the girlfriend supposedly gone back about an hour, and he has his phone where he took the pictures, and he was very apt to tell you that it's got a timestamp on it. I took the picture and I got a timestamp. Well, there was a portion in here where there was a person in a white shirt that was there. Now, these people were supposedly there around the time that he was supposed to have been there. And he kept saying, well, my phone has the timestamp of when I took a picture of the bullets. But when they showed him the footage, it was somebody. Now I could not see it clearly. I'm only going by the description that they get, because there was an impeachment of the witness situation going on, and the defense said the defense said the word, and the prosecution's like, no, we're not going to impeach. It's not an impeachment thing. And so then that signaled ASAP Rocky to say, oh, that's not me. That's not me. Because initially he said it was him. But then when the objections and stuff started, and he realized, oh, hold on. Oh, well, that's not me. All right. We got about what? Maybe about 15 minutes. Uh, you all got a little snippet of my recap that I did for yesterday, talking about what was going on yesterday, and did the recap for that for yesterday. So we're just waiting for the court to return in this ASAP Rocky case. I hear Rihanna is in the courtroom, y'all. She's looking cute, probably because everyone talks about how she smells good. So she's probably looking cute and smelling good. What are y'all thinking about this case so far? It is at this point way too much for the gram. And I don't know. ASAP Relly is coming off bad. He is not coming across as a great witness. I'm still tickled to the fact that he qualifies that the message that the defense was trying to read to him wasn't him, but yet he was insistent that he wanted to listen to it again. It's not you, boo. Why would you want to listen to something that's not you? You see how he focuses on the wrong thing? He focuses on that. I really need to say that you qualified that that the person on that recording was not you. You qualified that. So why in the world at this point would we want to hear what relevancy at that point would it be to sit here and to listen to you continue with that? Because see, I don't think that the defense and anybody is asking the this is Patty Pam right now. Anybody asking the right questions? Because here's my question: where did you get your CSI degree from? Did you watch several cases of Law and Order? SVU? Did you watch several episodes of CSI Miami, and CSI New York? Blue Bloods? Where did you get your CSI degree? University of Phoenix? Them the questions I want to know. You know, my overreaching question has always been, you went back to the crime scene. Why didn't you call the police to let them know that you were there? That, hey, I was shot in this area. I came back and I noticed some shell casings. Would y'all come pick them up? I don't understand. I don't even understand why you went back there. I don't understand why you didn't contact the police until a couple of days later, because you were shopping this to an attorney. And overall, and if we're not sitting here thinking about it, and maybe you all let me know if I missed that testimony, why were y'all squabbling in the first place? Because that hasn't been put on record as to why they were squabbling in the first place. Excuse me. We heard from Officer Zizzo, who went out there, who was called to the scene. We got the 911 caller. She talked about what she saw. The first kerfluffle happened at the car park, and then the second kerfluffle plus the shots happened in the back of the car park, the building behind the car park. We still hadn't figured out what the because again, you remember I was reading what California has to show. Give me one moment. We talked about what California has to show. The defendant used a semi-automatic firearm. Now, they did show a video showing that who was identified as ASAP Rocky. Who was identified as ASAP Rocky with the gun. It also says application of force. The defendant's action would have to likely resulted in force being applied to another person. There had to be intent, and the prosecution hasn't shown me what the intent. What was the intent of causing this action to? So to me, it was like, what was the motivation? Why would ASAP Rocky be so mad at ASAP Rocky that he'd want to pull a gun on him? Why would he be so angry that he would call him to come or text him to show him where he was at? Why was that even an issue? The defendant has to have awareness that his action will result in force or harm being applied to another person. Then there had to be the ability. The defendant had the ability to apply force with the firearm. And he has to show that he was not acting in, there was no self-defense going on. Right now, what we have is ASAP Rocky saying that he was holding ASAP Ills in between him and Rocky. He's saying that a shot initially went off, so he was holding ASAP Ills between him and Rocky, and he wouldn't let him go to the point that they went down on the ground. Oh, yeah. This is a mess. And I'm not sure. Do we have the lesser charges for this? Sorry about that. And now ASAP, because I knew that this cross examination was going to be tense, because from what I understand is that the cross examination from the preliminary hearing was tense. So we should see. I don't know what's going to happen with ASAP Rocky and whether or not he is going to how he's going to come back from this. All right, y'all. Hold on. All right, people. You know, I have to tell y'all that life is always lifing with me. And I am going to have to end my stream. However, I have you all redirected to Kat Knott Williams. She is covering this case as well. I have got a little slight emergency that I need to attend to. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know long how it is, but I'm going to go handle this real quickly, and then I will either meet you over at Kat's stream. I put it in the chat as well, but as soon as I stop this stream, you should be redirected over there. So I do apologize, but again, life is always lifing around here. So I'm going to redirect y'all to her stream. Y'all, please tell a friend, tell a kin, tell a coworker, tell that heifer that you can't stand that I'm over here making these videos. And as always, people, bye-bye.